Okay, there we go. Perfect, man. Right. So yeah, I'm sorry, I never knew your name before we jumped on the call because like
Yeah,
the Discord username is White.
yeah,
Um, hence why this is called White Trader Interview. Like
love
it
it.
should be called Chris Trader Interview. So let's just start like how you got into trading in the first place, a little bit about your background, and then we'll move on to sharing your progress, etc.
Yeah, so overall, I come from an armed forces background. So it kind of started around 2020. I was on operations, and my friend was basically said, oh, he talked to me about trading basically. So he kind of ignited that interest, I guess. And again, as you can imagine, with starting off in trading, I was looking at like signal groups and that kind of stuff, and like, oh, take signals here and there, get someone to automate my trading or whatever, and all that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
a lot of them don't work out whatsoever. So yeah, it just ended up in a complete loss. So from there, it kind of but ignited my passion, I guess, for it because I was like, okay, I want to learn how to do this, and this is interesting. I like how it's a, it's another stream of income you can make, all that kind of stuff. So that's where I basically started from there. And then it's been quite a journey, I'll be honest. It's not an easy journey whatsoever, is it?
The hardest journey in the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of ups and downs, and then but eventually it's got to me, where I am now, and it's took a lot of setbacks,
Yeah.
which is I guess one important thing to know. So many setbacks and so many kind of positives, but like for example, HFT firms not paying out, all that kind of stuff. You're
Yeah.
putting in all the hard work and you're not receiving anything from it.
Yeah.
That's a massive setback because you're doing everything right, and then
Yeah.
you've got it's hard enough being able to trade, and then not receiving a payout from a prop firm is very frustrating.
It's hard to
Um,
take. Like it actually is
mm,
really hard to take.
yeah,
Um, like I always try and obviously I try and like give people a little bit more motivation. Like when all these things happen, and I'm always trying to like
mm,
try and get people to see the bigger picture and like keep
yeah.
pushing. But
This is it.
it is really hard to take,
And I
man.
think, and I think actually I spoke to you. I think it was on one of the chats. I think the biggest gain I took from like the only funds experience, for example, was the fact that I built my strategy now. Like I was comfortable, I had confidence, I had that time and data again, that whole formula, time and data equals confidence. That I pinned down to the T. So then I kind of felt that gave me my motivation and that confidence to go, okay, let's go try FTMO and let's do this for real. Let's do this challenge. Let's apply everything I've been doing on funded anyway, and let's
Yeah,
just push it onto a challenge and just do it myself. And
yeah,
from that was a massive learning journey and positive learning journey and all that good stuff. So yeah, it's really good.
good stuff. So if what would you say like three things that you struggled with before you found power?
I guess mindset was definitely a massive one. I think mindset for me has been the 90% of the journey for sure.
Yeah,
I guess trying to find a strategy that works, trying to find an EA that works as well. Like, I tried before POW, I basically wanted to get into automating the strategy on automating trading. So I didn't have to have like a physical input in it. I did also think that that was going to be a case, that's that emotional disconnection. Still,
yeah,
when it comes to EA trading, there's also still that emotional side of
still
things.
there. Yeah,
Yeah, it's very much still there. So then again, that was kind of like um, I didn't think that through. I thought that was just going to be fixed through going to PAL, but that was something I also had to then push on afterwards.
yeah,
But yeah, so basically I tried an EA before I went to PAL, and it was kind of like, you plug it onto the chart. I didn't really know much about expert advisors as well, so I didn't realize you have to kind of keep on top of it in set files and all that kind of stuff. So I
yeah,
plugged it on the charts. It was making money, doubled the account, and then soon after blew the account. So it's like, okay, this is not good. So and then I found PAL through Instagram, I think it was.
yeah,
I found it really interesting, and I just felt like I need to make this step forward. And that was it. From there, kind of about 2 years ago, I entered into PAL, and it's just been a long, progressive learning journey from there, really. And it's gone. It's just 1% better each day. I say it's been getting better every day, and the more I keep.
like before you found power, like had you heard of like we obviously teach like education and
Mm,
how to actually back test and set up your
yeah,
set stuff like that. Like personally, before I found power, I'd never heard of any of that. And
no,
it's crazy, like you come across like so many different EAs and algorithms and blah blah blah, and like no one ever tells you that stuff, which is crazy.
no. This is it. And this is what I fell into that trap with the previous EA. It was a scalping EA, and it was
Yeah,
like just plug and let go. Do you know what I mean? You don't have to do anything. And in
yeah,
my head, I
yeah,
was like, great, I can plug this in, I can go about my daily business, and it'll do all the work for me.
yeah,
And you know, and that was the wrong attitude to have for sure. Anyway, you're thinking, you're dealing with your own money and that kind of stuff. It's like you
yeah,
should have that input. You should have that kind of, you want to be involved, making sure it's done right, this kind of stuff. Doing the relevant back testing and the relevant walk forward phases, all that good stuff. And yeah, so if anything, it was good to kind of let that go. And it
yeah,
was like I said, yeah, when I did join POW, that was the first time I learned, oh, like we have to back test stuff. Like, what's this? Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? It's like it's crazy. It's like, oh, you have to
yeah.
back test and previous, data and markets and stuff like that. And just like this was completely new to me.
Yeah,
But then
sure.
it made complete sense as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was a big learning curve.
Especially if you want to stay like in line with like market conditions and that. Like,
Exactly.
obviously, there's no. I think we're in that other predicament now where people are joining, and because we have like everything in place and you teach you how to backtest and stuff like that, it's like if it doesn't perfectly work to
Mm,
how you think it's going to work, it's like everyone kicks off, and it's a bit
mm.
like, but you've taught me how to backtest, you've taught me how to forward.
Yeah,
Says why is it not like made
yeah,
me 10K in the past 4 weeks? And it's like
yeah. It's like
it's still going
guaranteed.
to be difficult. It's not going to be completely foolproof,
Yeah.
but I think we're on the right learning curve anyway. So if
Yeah.
nothing had changed before you found power, if nothing had changed, where do you think you'd currently be?
I'd probably still be bouncing around strategies and all sorts, if I'm honest, because I think what it gave me is it didn't just give me an EA that, you can use in multiple ways. Like you also got the red alert EA, so I then got exposed to that, which for me is like my biggest part of like my journey. It then again expose you to that critical thinking and that way of thinking as well. So it's kind of like,
Yeah,
it's never a case of someone asks a question and it's like yes or no. It's like
yeah,
someone you'll get answered with another question, like, okay, well, how would you do this? How would you do that? And it's
yeah,
like it gets that kind of critical thinking for yourself.
yeah.
And that's the most important thing. So it starts to open up these kind of pathways in your brain,
It's a good
and you
point.
start to really learn from there.
Love that. Love that. I've been actually thinking about this a lot recently, actually. Because I get like whenever I post like stuff on Instagram
Mm,
or on Darren's Instagram, it's like I get DMs from people that are maybe like looking to join PAL,
mm,
and they ask me like, how good's the EA? Like, it's always about the EA, and the one thing that I'm talking
mm,
about is the community and the opportunity to like learn from all these different people that are all
mm,
thinking completely different to you. They're thinking on bigger, like some
mm,
people are thinking on higher levels, thinking bigger, and like unless you're exposed to that, you're
mm,
you're you're never gonna really like get to where you want to be, in my opinion, if you're not around the
mm,
right people.
mm,
And I think that like, that's probably the one for me anyway, the biggest positive I can give about PAL is the community because
yeah,
I mean personally for me, like if I wasn't part of PAL, I would never know what I know now
yeah,
simply from learning from everyone in the group.
yeah,
And like even though I work for PAL, I wouldn't say I'm the most technical guy in the world when it comes to
mm,
like trading and technical trading. But
mm.
when you look
I'm
in the group,
exactly the same.
some of the
Yeah,
people that are talking, I'm like, how the fuck, like,
yeah, yeah.
how how do they know how to do all this stuff? You know,
Yeah,
like
but
Steve.
I think as well with that, sorry, like I think the community everyone brings something to the table though, you know what I mean? So like
Yeah,
whether it's the fact you can create these awesome spreadsheets or you
yeah,
have this strategy that works with the hedging side of things, or you've got like, actually you're really good at like mindset and psychology, so everyone has their own inputs and that's what creates the community. I think that's the main thing, isn't it?
yeah. I love it. I love it. Like that Steve guy in the Red
Yeah,
Alert account
yeah, yeah,
shared his how he analyzed. I'm like, I
yeah,
to
honestly,
get my
yeah.
missus. Yeah, my missus is good at like spreadsheets and stuff. I was like,
Mm.
can you read this for me and just explain it? Like, I literally can't figure it out. Like, I don't
Yeah,
know how he's
it's
even.
impressive. Yeah, that's for sure.
It's unbelievable. But yeah, unless you're around and around these people, I think it's really difficult. So
Mm.
with all these setbacks and stuff, like, how would you say that's affected you, or how did it affect you personally? Did it have an effect
Um,
on the rest of your?
Yeah, I think growing up, I always had a level of disbelief in myself.
Yeah,
So it did affect me quite a lot because I was like, I'm having setback after setback after setback, and I wasn't, I was seeing the setbacks in a different way to the way I should have been. Like, when I spoke to you and you were like, well, actually look at the what you've done from, you know, the only funds and stuff and the, you know, next step funded, you've managed to get to pay out, and it's them that have not paid you out. You know,
Yeah.
actually, if you look at the process, it's like you've traded at accountant's profit, you know, relatively well, low drawdown, that kind of stuff. You know, you've
Yeah.
kept a strategy, all that kind of good stuff. So actually, that's what I should have taken away from it.
Yeah.
But at the time, you know, over these setbacks, I was kind of like, yeah, you know, this level of disbelief, I can't do this. It's, you know, struggling. And for me, that's when I also, the past year for me has been life changing, because I had to kind of step away and look at mindset.
Yeah.
And mindset again for me is the massive one. I was looking at trading psychology. I did like a 6 week sleep course. So I was really with a guy called Charlie Morley, who basically really zoned in on like lucid dreaming, breathing techniques, you know, really trying to optimize
Love.
your sleep. And I've seen, you know, Darren spoke about it all the time, how important it is for him. You know, he sleeps with like goggles on and all sorts.
Yeah.
And
Love that.
until I looked at that, I was like, that makes sense. I need to try and attack these little areas in my own life. I then came back to it kind of, you know, the past 6 months.
Yeah.
And again, attacked it with OnlyFunds, and now attacked it with FTMO, and finally funded with, you know, hopefully the best company, you know, prop firm out there at the moment.
Love that, man. Do you know what? Like, yeah, I love that, because it's so much about one thing that Darren always talks about as well is like high performance. It's not just
Mm,
about the trading side of things. Like the trading
mm,
side of things is actually quite easy. There's
mm,
still other
mm.
shit that comes with it, like
Exactly.
the self-doubt,
100%.
the confidence, the sleeping patterns, the mental health. Like it does
Mm,
affect your mental health. Like when things
mm,
aren't going well, like personally, like when I was really struggling with my trading, it was yeah, affected like everything else in my life. So
mm,
I
mm.
think that's what people don't really realize, or maybe if you're new to trading, you don't really realize how much that is actually going to have an effect on you.
Yeah.
Just goes to show that once you can focus on that stuff, it will improve your trading results. So
Mm,
obviously, you've just passed FTMO,
yeah.
and could you just talk us through one, how long it took, two, the tool that you used, and three, we'll share your screen in a bit and just talk us through the challenge. But how long did it take you, and what tool was you using?
Yeah, so first of all, the tool I used was Red Alert, as we know. The reason why I used Red Alert and, for example, not Banker or any other trading strategy was because it just fell within my psychology. I don't like to be in the market all the time. I don't like to be in trades all the time. So if I can use a strategy that works where I'm, you know, got a low trade duration, I'm not constantly every day thinking about trading, you know,
Yeah,
because I think that wears down the psychology a little bit. Again, each to their own, all that kind of stuff. But for me, that was the EA that was working for me at the moment. It fits with my psychology, so I just ran with it from there, basically. Um, and yeah, then in terms of the actual challenge, I think that the FTMO challenge took 3 weeks, and the verification stage took longer than what I thought it was going to do, but it took like 9 or 10 days. And it's still quite short, I guess, when you think about it. But
bit longer.
yeah, but in comparison, I guess, to like when I was looking at, like, you know, like the challenge side of things, you know, I did that in 3 weeks, and that was double the profit. And I guess I get that's expectations. I guess I was expecting, okay, so I did that in 3 weeks. The verification should probably be able to do in like a week or two, which I did. I did it in 2 weeks. But I also hit 2 stop losses as well, so that slowed the journey right down.
Yeah,
Um,
easy.
but yeah,
All using Red Alert, all
yeah,
trading.
all using, yeah, Red Alert, yeah,
You don't know, like Red Alert is trading high impact news. Yeah? So you was just trading high impact news events,
exactly.
and you smashed it both phases in a month, right?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Perfect.
Um,
Can you share your screen? Do you mind
yeah,
showing
so
your screen?
I'll try and take us onto it.
See if this works. This could ruin everything. So
We'll see, we'll see. So if I
keep the
share
screen.
entire screen, I need to
If it
swap
does,
onto
it's fine.
the. Okay, can you still see my screen?
Yep, yep, yep. All
Can
good.
you see the FTMO account?
It's just loading. Just give that a sec.
Hopefully it works. If not, I'll try and.
Just give it a minute. And
I wonder if it's because I've had to swap.
there we go. No, no, you're good. You're good. Yeah,
So
if you go back
can you see can you see us at the moment?
yeah, I can see everything. If you go back to FTMO, it will just be on there. There we go. Yeah, that's
Oh, can you
perfect.
see it now? Yeah.
Yep. So if you get
Awesome.
more metrics of the first phase,
Yeah. So this is the challenge. as you can see. So if we zoom out a little bit and have a look at the
Nice.
equity curve, it's pretty quite nice to be there, you know.
That's beautiful.
Yes, it started obviously on the 23rd of May, finished on 17th of June, so it was just over 3 weeks.
Finished on my birthday, man.
Yeah. Which
Yeah.
one's that? Finished on your
16th
birthday.
of June. Happy days, man.
Nice, nice. Well, yeah, great birthday present for you to give to me.
You'll have to share some of your first withdrawal with me, just
Absolutely, yeah.
and all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Can you talk
Um,
through like your psychology, like on each phase, or any losses, or any moments that you thought like you had to rethink? You know,
yeah, the start phase for sure. So actually, when I started this challenge on a weekend where I was away visiting family, and it was like a family gathering that we do once a year. And as you can see, this had an effect. You can see I decided I wanted to be out of the market. I wanted to enjoy the weekend, so I
uh,
decided to cut like my loss with it all at the start. And I thought, right, I'm going to reset the following week and go again.
that's
Um,
good awareness, though.
Yeah, because I just wanted to enjoy the time with family that I only got once a year, and I
Yeah,
felt like I was probably zoning in too much on this challenge, and I
yeah,
didn't also want to have that like a further negative effect with that and maybe blow the account, for example.
great stuff.
So yeah, I cut that short, revisited the following week, and then it's pretty much just a steady curve from there, really. Nothing much to say on that one. I hit a great run of trades. You know, I pretty much. I mean, it says I think the win rate was about 85% because I did have to cut a few trades short. And the
Nice,
last trade of the account I cut short, I think, as well, to just because it was over the pass mark. Um, but yeah, but overall, it was just a great winning streak as well, and great run of trades. And again, that was all through just the back testing of the red alert and just letting the Y stop loss strategy, just let it run basically. And I was using kind of 2 to 3 files per news event.
nice. Could you show us the trades just for a
Yeah.
sec? Could you just
So that's obviously the metrics. These are the trades running through. I think my
nice,
highest day was $2,000.
nice, man.
Yeah, small. I think this would have been like a losing day overall. Not a losing day, but I think this would have been one of the stop loss days where it kind of ended in profit, but it was still a losing day overall.
Some profit. That's crazy.
Yeah, and then 1,000 again, 318, 76. Again, nice high one at 100, 1,452.
Nice.
Um, so yeah, and I think like overall the trades, this would have been at the start of the losing where I decided to close down.
Yeah, that's
Um,
beautiful though, man. Like you've had pretty much no losses apart from that one in the 24th, which was
yeah,
doing anyway. But that's yeah,
yeah.
it's unbelievable, mate.
Yeah, and I guess it's interesting, like because the wide stop loss strategy is very different to any other trading strategy you probably see out there, I guess, won't you? Because everyone's looking for a higher RR,
Yeah,
whereas with the wide stop loss strategy, it's a negative RR, but because we've got the high win rate,
yeah,
it still works just as good.
yeah, for sure, man. And then
So
if
yeah,
we
that was the challenge side of things. Do you want to go over the verification?
yeah, let's go over the verification as well, if you don't mind.
Yeah, for sure. So this one finished, I think it was on the 5th of July. Yeah, so it started on the 18th of June, pretty much the next day, and then finished on the 5th of July. But as you can see, you've also got these 2 stop losses that we hit. But again, we still didn't go underneath the profit line. We still stayed above pretty much the
So
100K, starting balance. Again, hit the stop loss, carried on, hit the stop loss, and then, funnily enough, this nice equity curve here was while I was away for the week in Albania. So I guess it shows like being in a nice, relaxed environment, enjoying yourself,
yeah,
really helped with the emotions and bang,
for
yeah,
sure, man. Need to be on holiday fucking all year, mate.
exactly, exactly. So
Yeah,
yeah, and again, like, I think the total trades is about 30 trades in total, 9 trading days overall, and that was like the max drawdown, and that was it. Good to go. And these are the trades. These are the days.
lovely, lovely, lovely. So when you go back to the graph, and you hit those, let's say where you hit your stop loss
Yeah.
twice in a row, uh, when after you've hit your stop loss, did you ever, think to yourself that you need to change strategy, or was you fully confident in what you're doing because of your testing?
No, it's like again, 100%. Like it's never nice taking a loss. I think and no one wants to take a loss in trading. It's not nice.
Yeah,
But I think the whole point is having that strategy and having that confidence in the data that you've got from the past 6 months. Like
yeah,
that okay, today's a losing day, but tomorrow's not 99% is probably going to be a winning day. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? So you get past that loss, okay, understanding your strategy
yeah,
and how it works. And yeah, and again, again, I still hit another loss. Funnily enough, this second loss was a bit of a technicality, a bit of negligence on my side, because it was a set file I was testing, or wanting to test basically, in like later on in past the news event. So like it's like 60 minutes plus past the news event. And what I forgot to do was turn the copier off for that day.
Yeah,
And then lo and behold, it took a loss. So yeah.
that's quality, man. Um, that's really good stuff, mate. Do you, if you don't mind, just because I can see it on your screen,
Hmm.
you're also trying to scale a small amount of live capital, right?
Yeah, I mean, I can touch on that quickly if you want to.
Don't mind.
Yeah, so this is the FX books, kind of the data side of it all. Again, trying to build that confidence in the strategy. I thought, well, there's no better way than doing it with own live capital as well. So I picked a small amount that I was happy that, if this blows, it blows.
Yeah,
It's not going to affect me massively. And again, that's an important thing to think in trading. I think some people, put all their eggs into one basket, and then they lose it all, and then it becomes an issue, right? So yeah, first thing was obviously starting with an amount I was willing to lose, and then that was that. Started with Vantage. Obviously, they have a 50 quid, like 10% credit thing they've shove on. So
180,
in terms,
70%. Is that right?
yeah, so in terms of the gain, it's still quite distorted, because if you think that's more like a 200% gain actually, because it's, the deposit was 500, the profit's 1,032, so that should be over 200%. But obviously,
Yeah.
yeah, and that's again, these are all the same trades to the funded account as well, pretty much. Sorry,
That's
to the challenge and the verification.
so just to make it clear for like whoever's watching. So you've got your master account that you've been testing on for
Yeah,
what, 6 months?
yeah, about 6 months so now. Yeah,
6 months. You've built up all the confidence and data from the testing, and
yeah,
now it's easy to copy over to these two different accounts
yeah.
because of this testing that you've done here.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, and with this, I've using it's quite an aggressive way of doing it, because I'm risking like 20% per trade on this one.
Yeah.
But I'm also trying to flip the account, and as the account grows, I'll start reducing that risk right down as well.
Nice.
But I'm also trying to just prove a bit of a challenge, and to see what this strategy can do, if that makes sense, see what it's capable of. So I think that's the main effort of this here.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, what you could also do, like in this situation, was withdraw your original deposit of
exactly,
550, and then the account's completely risk free. Um,
exactly that,
which
exactly that,
is, I mean,
and
you've
that's it.
already done that anyway. So yeah, that's mad, mate. That's
Yeah,
unbelievable.
so
Quality
this is
stuff,
it.
man.
But yeah, if you look at the bottom, if you look at the bottom bit, you can quickly see like June was 135%. In July, we're already at 22%. So it's pretty solid from that point of view so far.
It's
Uh,
madness.
it is madness, yeah.
135%.
Yeah. Without the restrictions of prop firms, the opportunities are endless, aren't they? Right?
The mad thing is like this is trading high impact news. That's what I
Yeah,
find crazy. Like
yeah.
most people are avoiding high impact news. We're profiting off high impact news. So it,
Exactly, and I love it. Like I thrive on the news events side of things, and
yeah,
I find it quite interesting, and it's just such a great trade. It's a great time to trade as well. I think if you have a way of doing it, you have a strategy you can use.
100%.
Because like I said, you're then in and out. You're not kind of in there all the time. You don't have to be analyzing the markets all the time, that kind of stuff.
It's like
Um,
this week where we've probably had like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. There's not really been much news events that we could trade, and
yeah,
I've like kind of I've been bored.
this is it. This is it, and it's just like, yeah,
I'm like, I want a news event. Like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
want to see some high impact news.
Yeah. But
Uh,
again, like with that, it's like that's what I like about the red alert EA, is because yeah, you have a week where you've got news every day you're trading. You've then got a week where like this week there's only 2 real days that we're going to trade,
yeah,
ideally. And then the other 3 days, you've got for your own stuff, your own mindset, your own kind of hobbies, your own kind of time, friend, family, whatever, so really works well from that point of view.
just shows that you don't need to be in the market 24/7.
No,
Um,
yeah.
there's no need for FOMO when you're passing 2 stages of FTMO in a month. So,
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
how would you say this has affected you personally, seeing this sort of success?
Massively. Like I said, I've come from an area of disbelief in my life. I've always have achieved moving forward, but I've always, when it gets to that point, I always think, oh, I can't do this, I can't do this, and then lo and behold, I do go and achieve it.
Yeah.
Like in the forces, I had a really great learning, steep kind of promotional curve, that kind of thing. And at each stage, I was like, I can't do this, I can't do this, and I've always managed to prove myself eventually I can do it. I think, yeah. So with the trading side of things and having setbacks, it's difficult. It's really hard to kind of take that. But again, yeah, it's proven to work out. We've got, like I said, stick in line with the strategy and the psychology, and before you know it, good to
You
go.
must be extremely resilient, right?
I am nowadays. I think again that's through the mindset training completely.
Yeah.
That's a mix between, like I said, the sleep course, that elevate as well, using that in the night time, kind of just like zoning in and that relaxed side of things.
Yeah.
Letting go. Yeah, and just being at peace with the decisions you make, I guess, as well. And I think, like I said, and that's easy to do that when you have the data and the time and all that confidence. So.
Love it, mate. Love it, mate. So just to finish off, could you give us 3 reasons why you'd recommend POW?
The community for sure. Like it's a massive community full of like other like mindset like people. Do you know what I mean? Everyone wants to achieve. Everyone wants to help each other. So you do feel at home massively when you're there. I think as well the my journey with POW and Daria and yourselves and there's always been that support in every aspect. So whether it's a case of something's gone wrong along the journey, okay, look, let's figure out how we can come to a solution here. That's kind of thing. It's never a case of like, you're just left on your own, that kind of thing. So it's that community, it's that kind of level of support that you get. And then it is just then for me, the last one is the quality of the EAs. I think like they give you such diversification in the markets, which is what you
Yeah.
want. And that's the main key thing.
Love it, mate. Love it. Perfect.
Nice.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
I know, right?
You're
Awesome.
on board, man.
Yeah.
Um, Wicked, mate. Really good to see your progress. Obviously, yeah, you're inspiring a lot of people in the group as well. I can tell, and I've also had like people DM me asking how you've done it, and I'm just like, why didn't you ask him? Why didn't you ask
Yeah.
him yourself? Like,
Yeah.
they're
No, I'm
trying to.
glad to hear that.
But
Yeah.
you shared a lot about your strategy in the chats anyway. So
Mm,
whenever people ask that stuff, I'm like, just read back through the chat and you can see because you're very open about what you're doing,
mm.
your strategy. So yeah, it's great to see, man. And
Nice.
yeah, I'm not going to take up too much of your time, but thanks for jumping on. Really appreciate it. I'm just going to click to stop recording
No, awesome.
and let's just make sure it stops properly.